All right, everybody, how are y'all doing tonight? Little impromptu video. I wanted to get this knocked out as early as I could in the week. I want to talk about the Week 8 predictions and how I feel like these games are going to play out. Um, it's going to be a very special week as far as especially the power rankings that I like to do after every game or after every Saturday. I think that's going to offer a whole lot of separation. I believe we're going to know who um, is clearly going to be like our number one or number two or number three or number four. As you can see here, I'm asking to don't forget to like and subscribe. So I believe Sharon asked me last time or said, hey, I don't see this blue line that you're talking about. So let me explain that again one more time. Let's see here. Okay, so I'm taking us back to Big 12 Sports and Smack, the friendship group. Okay, so the last post that I see on here is an hour ago from Mike Rollins. Let me try to update this and see if this stream right here shows up on it. All right, cooperate with me now. Okay, I'm still not seeing it. It's only that post. That's no bueno. Bear with me a second. I want to try to show this off one more time. Hey, here it is right here. Yeah, okay, so this is the actual one. Yes. So this is what I mean. If you watch this through Facebook and you would like for your name and profile picture to show up, this text right here, who's going to win on the separation Saturday? I'm going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at, and this is the blue line I'm talking about, StreamYard.com/Facebook. So if y'all are interested in that, here we go. All right, so back to my predictions. Okay. All right, I'm back. So anyway, let's kind of get into it. What I think is going to be incredibly special about this week is you've got my number one, my number two, my number three, and my number four teams playing each other. Number one versus my number four, and number two versus the number three. I think after this week, we're going to start to have a better idea. Okay, who's really going to be going to the title game, and who has a good shot, and who is just a little bit overrated. So I think that's going to be incredibly cool, and it's going to be telling a lot this week. All right, so I like to do this in most confident to least confident. So who do I feel the most confident about this week? I think I would go with Baylor versus Kansas. Yeah. Okay. So both of them have questions on defense. Both of them are improved on offense, whether y'all see it or not. I know a lot of people are down on Baylor, but I think they're sleeping on Baylor. Their offense is starting to really kind of show out. I have a lot of trust in Blake Shapen and his passing ability. I believe that our running game is getting a little bit better as well. That's going to make us dangerous. We won't be as predictable. I hear the same thing about Kansas. If y'all watched my interview with Colton New last night, he was talking about how they're very multidimensional. That's not what I heard at first, but maybe they are more multidimensional now with Jason Beam as their starter. If they had Jalen Daniels, I've thought this for a while, that I think Baylor kind of struggles with good scrambling quarterbacks, and Jalen Daniels is exciting, electric as a runner. And the whole year I was fearing having to face them, and probably would have predicted a Kansas victory. I've got Baylor here, my prediction, and I might be changing this up a little bit from last night, but I feel kind of confident about 35-28. I think there's going to be some points scored. Baylor's run defense really, really scared me last week with what happened with West Virginia. That I was not expecting that. I don't know that a team has done that to us in a couple of years. So that does concern me. But I think Baylor has more talent up and down the field. If Kansas had Jalen Daniels, I'd give them much more of a shot. But that Baylor passing game is really starting to take fire. They've had 2 games in a row where they were almost unstoppable, but they lost both games, for other reasons. I believe our run game is getting a little bit healthier. I believe that to be true. I'm not sure because I'm not sure about Squirrel Williams, but I'm very impressed with Richard Reese and Quaylen Jones. We'll see if Tate McWilliams comes back. I know we have a dominant offensive lineman coming back. I don't think it's going to be this game. I think it'll be next game. But I still trust Baylor a lot more. So I've given them, in my head, a 7-point victory, 35-28. Moving on to our next game. Who do I feel most confident about? I think I would have to go with Texas Tech versus West Virginia because I also have a 7-point victory there. As much as I really like the talent on West Virginia, this is on the road. Texas Tech has impressed me this year, despite the fact I think they're on a little bit of a slide, but you know they had enough to beat Texas, which clearly looks improved. And this is going to be a tough one for me because I don't know who the starting quarterback is going to be for Tech, but I'm hearing maybe it's Tyler Schaff, if I'm saying his name correctly, who was intended to be their starter from all along. Now, West Virginia had that running game really going, which makes them dangerous because they have all the talent in the world in their passing game. I think they have 3 legitimate, good Big 12 starting wide receivers and JT Daniels. So it's hard for me to say that West Virginia can't win this game. I just kind of don't feel like they will, and I'm going to put that on their defense for now. I don't think this is their year as far as defense. I don't think there will be enough time to fix everything that's right and those players to gel yet. Lots of young players. They're going to start off the first half without one of their secondary. I don't remember if he was a cornerback or a safety, but I remember the hit against Blake Shapen got him kicked. Target. It was called targeting. He was kicked out of the game, so he's going to miss the first half of this game as well. Texas Tech, no matter who the quarterback is not going to have any questions on in their passing game. They're doing enough. They're doing enough in all facets as far as offense. I'm not concerned with that part. West Virginia's running game would scare me for this game, but with Joey McGuire there now, apparently they're taking a defensive approach of stop the run first. Like it doesn't even matter who the opponent is. A good running team, a good passing team, doesn't matter. Stop the run first. They're committed to the run. So I think that's going to not work out in West Virginia's favor. They might have a great game running. They still might. They might be that talented to do so. But I think overall, I believe I trust Tech more. And it's a difficult one for me because not knowing their starting quarterback, who it's going to be. From what I hear, they think he's healthy enough to play, but they may not want to start him. So that's kind of confusing to me. But whoever they have at quarterback, they're not struggling on offense, and West Virginia is struggling on defense. They have been most of the year. So that will be my next one. I'm going to assume that this is our buddy Mike Rollins. Oh, I know we will have a hard time, but I still think we're going to win this weekend and next weekend. Gotta have the faith. Yeah. I don't know who y'all play next weekend. Y'all can win. There's not a blowout pick for me. You know, the two that I'm most confident about are 7-point victories. If I mentioned the score, I don't remember. I think I'm predicting 38-31 Texas Tech with West Virginia traveling to Lubbock. But it could easily be the other way around too. Who knows? Maybe the Baylor game sparked something in West Virginia to where they kind of go on a roll here. It's entirely possible with this Big 12 this year. Entirely possible. Okay, so now, out of the last 2 games, who do I feel the most confident in? Okay, well, I think I feel the most confident in Oklahoma State and Texas. So going down the ladder, I will talk about the TCU KSU game. Let's see here. TCU is a lot like Baylor when it comes to playing in Morgantown. Are you saying that because they've never won there or just have barely won there? Okay, so Kansas State at TCU. Okay, so you've got a starter in Adrian Martinez who sometimes looks like a Heisman candidate and is doing enough to have a good year. And if y'all remember how much crap I gave Kansas State for losing to Tulane and then the next week beating Oklahoma, which surprised most people. Well, look at Tulane now. Tulane is 6-1 and ranked. So how bad does that loss look now? Surprising as heck, but now it doesn't look quite so bad. So the resume is not looking that bad anymore. It's looking a lot better than I anticipated. I was giving them crap about the Tulane loss ever since it happened. But TCU is undefeated. TCU is absolutely surprising me. They seem to have a better defense than last year, even without Gary Patterson. That's surprising to me. Clearly, they have a better offense without Gary Patterson. I think we have won the last 5 games against TCU. Yeah, I guess you've got both of our numbers. As you said, Baylor's never won there. It didn't matter about talent or anything. Sometimes y'all were the better team and y'all beat us. Sometimes we were the better team and y'all still beat us. And I don't, in my head, I don't remember every West Virginia TCU game in Morgantown. But obviously, I'll take your word for that if y'all have won the last 5 games against them. And that might be the same deal as I was saying about Baylor. It could be that TCU had a better team than y'all. Y'all still beat them. It could be y'all had a better team than them and beat them in Morgantown. So who I'm liking at TCU, I don't want to like him because he had never really impressed me enough before. And maybe that was just because he was under Gary Patterson. Maybe his hands were tied. But Max Duggan, their backup quarterback, is just an absolute gamer. And as far as he's a tough guy, he's looking to run first. When those plays are called, he's not afraid of it. He's good at it. He's a tough tackle. And he'll do that all game. He'll get some runs. He'll hand off to his running backs and get that running game established and creep y'all up into the box. And then he'll strike deep. He can do that. He's not super uber successful as a great passer because he will absolutely underthrow and overthrow some wide open people, but he will hit some of them too to make them extremely dangerous. And look at TCU. They're killing it on offense this year, despite what I consider a very weak strength of schedule so far. They're the only undefeated team left. There's only 2 undefeated teams left in the conference, and it happens to be this game. So after this game, only one team will be left undefeated in the conference play. It's either going to be TCU or Kansas State University. I'm going with TCU. I think TCU will win at home. I love Kansas State's defense. I love their numbers, what they're allowing. They're pretty much at the top, right behind Iowa State. Believe it or not, Iowa State at 0-4 has the top defense in like almost every category. That's crazy, but they're 0-4 in conference, lost their last 4 games, but incredible defense. Kansas State is right below them, so I would probably say Kansas State might have the second best defense in the Big 12. And as much as I like that and appreciate that, I think I trust TCU's offense more than I trust Kansas State's defense. But who would I say is a better quarterback? I didn't really like either one of these guys coming in. Max Duggan is impressing me. Adrian Martinez has had spectacular games. I trust Max Duggan more. I think he's done more this year. And I didn't want to say that, so I'm just being as honest as possible. So we've got a 17 Kansas State going to number 8 TCU. And as I said, I've got TCU winning. I've got a score of 24-20. That's how I think it'll play out. I think TCU is high scoring, but I think Kansas State will keep that score down. But I think TCU will have more bullets in the chamber. Let's see how that is. My least confident game is going to be a tough one. And I'm going to tell you why I picked this, and it's because of health of a quarterback. I don't know that I'm right, but I think I just heard that Spencer Sanders is a little bit on the injured side. That was enough to flip me. I've got Texas going into Oklahoma State and winning. We got a long comment here. Let's see what we got. But honestly, I watched the OSU and TCU, and I will say right now, those two teams are not top 10 teams. If you're honest with yourself, you can see a lot of problems with all the Big 12 teams. And I've said that over and over. Every team has question marks. Right now, I will stay with my preseason prediction. Texas and OSU will play in the Big 12 championship game this season, and Texas will be Big 12 champions. Yeah, I'm not ready for that yet. My preseason predictions are a little bit blown away right now. It would take a lot for my predictions to come true, and I don't have to stick with what I predicted in the preseason. The game's played for a reason because we never really know what's going on. I'm not afraid to change my opinion. I would love to be right before the season starts. That rarely happens. So I'm going to read this again to gain more context. But honestly, I watched the OSU and TCU, and I will say right now, those two teams are not top 10 teams. If you're honest with yourself, you can see a lot of problems with all the Big 12 teams. Right now, I will stay with my preseason predictions. Texas and OSU will play in the Big 12 championship game this season, and Texas will be the Big 12 champions. Entirely possible. Absolutely, it is. I can see that. But at the same time, I can see any one of these four teams, Kansas State, TCU, Texas, and Oklahoma State, winning the Big 12. I could see all four, and maybe if a team or two does some kind of magic, maybe they could squeeze in. The tiebreakers are going to be incredible. I think after this weekend's games, that's when we can really kind of start to sit down and put pen to paper and start thinking about tiebreakers, which is going to make this kind of exciting. I think it's going to make it exciting. I mean, for all I know, it could almost be decided after this weekend. I don't think so. I think there's too much season left for that to happen right now. But it'd be a good time to sit there and think, okay, well, if this game happens and this game happens and Baylor wins this, maybe they got a shot here. If this game happens and this game happens, maybe West Virginia or Kansas State or you know what I'm saying. I think it'll be kind of exciting for the next couple of weeks to think about those scenarios. So Oklahoma State and Texas. Okay. As far as defense, who do I trust more? I trust Texas's defense more than I trust Oklahoma State's defense. As far as offense, Texas is a little bit up and down, a little bit herky-jerky with their offense. Like I expected more out of them against Iowa State because they had Quinn Ewers back. But as I said earlier, Iowa State is the top defense. They can not win a game in the Big 12 this year. It might stay as the top defense. They're that spectacular on defense. So, Texas only getting 24 points against them, surprised me. But, not a lot of people are scoring easily on Iowa State anyway. Oklahoma State is trying to implement a new defensive scheme to go with their offensive firepower that they're traditionally known for, and they did so last year very successfully. But I trust Texas' defense more because of their production this year versus all of the production that Oklahoma State lost. A lot of guys left to the NFL. I want to say, 6 of their 8 top tacklers, 3 of their 4 secondary, and those guys are like in the NFL killing it. They lost, oh my goodness. I can't remember the guy's name, but I was so impressed with him in the NFL. I believe he's playing with San Francisco, an incredible linebacker that they lost. And that's why I'm not giving Oklahoma State's defense as much love as I'm giving Texas. They lost too much. They still are implementing it, still trying to get there, trying to be a good, balanced offensive and defensive team. I think they're a good I think clearly they're a good offensive team, but if Spencer Sanders is hurt, what else am I going to do here? I got to go with Texas. I think I do. I think 24 points against Iowa State won't happen against Oklahoma State. I think Texas might be a legitimate real deal this year. So we'll see how that goes. Despite their loss to Texas Tech, I don't think anybody's holding Alabama's loss against them. Let's check out this comment. I think the 2 Big 12 teams that play for the Big 12 championship will both have at least 2 to 3 conference losses this season. That's how balanced the Big 12 is this year. Yeah, that's easy to say. Absolutely easy. The only thing that's gonna make that not a possibility is if either TCU or Kansas State goes undefeated the rest of the way, which, maybe TCU. And then Texas or Oklahoma State would have to kind of win out. It depends on how often these four teams are going to play each other, if that's even a possibility. I want to say maybe it'll be a one-loss team versus a two-loss team that gets in because of tiebreakers. That's just a guess. But you might be right. Both of them could have two losses. One could have two losses, and one could have three. I could absolutely see that. It's very wide open this year. It's been an incredible year as far as that goes. Okay, so I think I haven't given a final prediction score for Texas versus Oklahoma State. I will give Oklahoma State's defense enough love to not call this a blowout. I think they can hold Texas to 32 points, and I've got Oklahoma State scoring 27. So to wrap up my four predictions, I've got Texas on the road at Oklahoma State winning 32-27. I have Texas Tech winning at home over West Virginia 38-31. I have Baylor winning at home over Kansas 35-28. And I have TCU winning at home against Kansas State 24-20. So, I mean, if y'all disagree with me, that's fine. These are just my predictions. I do my best to not be biased, but I am biased about this. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe. Thanks. Oh, and for everybody who paid attention to the Kansas interview, the Baylor Kansas preview interview with Colton New last night, that went off spectacularly well. I'm trying to build this channel and trying to gain some new members and viewership and everything. And when I looked at the numbers this morning, I was shocked. Like I had a couple of good interviews. One with Neil Mooney, and it like had 89 viewers or whatever through Facebook. Through YouTube, and it took me a month and a half to get those numbers up that high. I had another great interview with Alicia Fennell. It's somewhere around 80 something views as well on YouTube. That took 2 weeks now, and those numbers bumped up. Well, immediately when I woke up this morning, the numbers were just shocked me with the interview last night with Colton New. At this point right now, it's like 110 viewers, just from last night on YouTube. Then there was about 50 views on Twitter, and then now however many of y'all watched on Facebook yesterday. And let's see, did I read this one? Okay, I already read that one, and I have a good predictions. I don't know who these are. I think most of these are going to be Mike Rollins. I'm guessing I'm right about that. While I got y'all here, let's try this one more time. This is only if y'all care to do so. You don't have to. But this is our, this is me real time, kind of Back to the Future style. This is me recording, but also here it is in the Facebook group that y'all are watching from. And see, you can see the comments. Okay, that was Mike Rollins. Oh, yeah, I can read this way, but then I can't see the screen. So good predictions, Mike Rollins. Thank you, Mike. What I was going to say was, as I'm in there, I can share every single one of those comments that y'all put in there with your name and your profile. And the way to do so, if y'all want to, is to come up here right above. You might have to hit a little thing that says see more. You might see most of this text and then not see that blue line. It might say see more. You might have to click on that. And then anyway, this is the blue line. I'm going live using StreamYard. Before leaving a comment, please grant StreamYard permission to see your name at StreamYard.com/Facebook. So that's the last thing I've got for y'all. If y'all want to do so, it'll kind of make the videos go a little bit smoother, so I don't have to sit there and guess who's making the comments and everything, because I can't watch the video myself and see if everything's going smooth while I'm on this screen right here. So that's about the last thing I got for you. And I appreciate y'all watching. Hit the like and subscribe and share any videos y'all want if I make you laugh or if you just like the commentary. Appreciate the interaction with y'all. I think that makes a video so much better. And I'm out of here. Sick 'em.